I'm pretty sure you know what the Kanto region is. It's a place that exists far out, an island of its own. Well, say island, but it's quite bigger than that. There's a place near to the island, an actual city of sorts. It was located on a different continent near to the Kanto island. Matter of fact, it was called New Kanto. It was a normal day like any other. People were going about their business, and so were the Pokemon too. A few scientists were scouting the area, a small patch of land on New Kanto. There's nothing special, a few urban houses near to it, and obviously a large forest that engulfed the area. The area was always ridden with mystery, which is partly why the scientists decided to investigate it. In the past couple of weeks during this time, people began seeing odd things. It was hard to describe what it was because it was never truly clear. As a matter of fact, the only things that could have been seen were incidences of strange creatures just popping out from the fog, which would occasionally blow over the entire area. Needless to say, the mystery and intrigue led to this current thing. The scientists were digging into the ground, experimenting with the soil, and also experimenting with some new technology that could supposedly go to the bottom of these strange sightings. It all went well, up until it didn't. A few weeks into the investigation, the scientists came across some terrifying readings. They were power readings far beyond that of anything, either Pokemon or anything else. The scientists felt a strong sense of dread and doubt. The boss, however, at least at first, didn't really want to hear any of it. He wasn't particularly mean about it, but he was very stuck in his ways. A few scientists just up and left. They really did not want to bother with this whole thing. This whole scenario eventually caught the attention of none other than Arceus, supposedly. I say supposedly because there were sightings of him, although very grainy images, not the type of ones that you would initially believe. Either way, it then resulted in a bit of a mass hysteria. People, at first, were reluctant to really stay near the area, and the next incident that followed was even worse. Two young boys, not Pokemon trainers by any means, but just two regular young boys went near to the forest. At first they were just playing on the empty land near to it, roughhousing, and just doing general stuff, not harming a soul. The two then quickly became bored, and one of the boys was brave enough to actually go near to the forest. His friend begged him not to go in, but he was too brave for his own good. At first, it only took a few minutes as the fog began to set in. It swarmed the entire forest. The boy's name was Cole, evidently, and his friend, screaming his name, never got a reply. Needless to say, after a while, authorities were called, and search parties tried to help, but with no such luck. More supposed encounters with Arceus looming over the place, trying to supposedly watch over any more souls that were to probably stumble in. Either way, his company didn't do much, because shortly after that, it resulted in an even bigger panic. The boy's parents, well, they weren't too happy, as you can imagine. Until he came back. Cole, looking more pale than ever and clearly traumatized by something, described his horrific accounts. He said the following: "I went into the forest. There was fog, lots of it. I looked around in multiple directions. It was silent. Nothing. Like the kind of deafening silence that when you hear for too long it makes your ears ring and it makes you go mad." He then began to hear the voices of people or perhaps even Pokemon talking to him. The crazed and hushed ramblings began to go on for ages, at least what felt like it. The only thing that remotely made it stop for the briefest moments was when he looked up at the fog. It had a slightly red tint to it, like a sunset, but in this case more warped, and the only colour being red and really dark orange. The worst thing about it, perhaps by far though, was the face staring down at him. It was this demonic looking face, a face that would strike fear into anyone. However, what mattered in that moment more than the testimony given by the young kid was that he was back safe and sound. Now, why does all this matter? That's the question that I hear people asking. Well, truth be told, the guy named Cole is my older brother now. During the events of the whole thing, I was very young, and needless to say, when I was about a toddler, my parents, or our parents, eventually left New Kanto, and so did all the other people there. It was eventually left abandoned. Not even Arceus himself would tread over the area. The buildings would remain untouched. So would the same forest and the same empty land. People say that if you were to go there, the buildings would remain untouched. There would be no sign of a chaotic attempt at fleeing. Truth be told, it was quite organized when we left the area, but it's almost as if the only remnants of human life, let alone the wild Pokemon that probably lived in that area, are the houses and maybe even the huts that were once made by the wild Pokemon there. Either way, it kinda served as a creepy tale, and one that even Arceus himself would fear. Hello there, people. It's good to speak once again to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this creepypasta. It's nothing too special, really. Just a generic gaming one that I found. It is Pokemon related, obviously, but I found it pretty interesting, and I thought you guys would have liked it too. And I hope you did. Thank you, so much for watching. Thank you so much for so many subscribers already as it is. I'm nearing to 100 now, which is amazing, and I just want to give my thanks to all of you guys for letting this happen. 100 subscribers may not be a lot, but it is to me. That's what matters. So, thank you for being with me here, and listening to my stories, and my terrible voice. I don't know what to say about that, honestly. I just, lately, I've been losing my voice. So, I wasn't sure if this either sounded good or bad. I was a little bit in between. And although I don't want this ending to be too long, because it's probably nearing the 10-minute mark, I do want to just say thank you so much for being with me here. And I'm not one to be so sentimental and soppy all the time, I know. But, I appreciate it. Alright, I appreciate all of you. The weed detection software series, that's still going to continue. I've got many other projects planned as well, which I have been trying to do for a long time now, but the deadlines, the time, I just wasn't able to. But anyway, I'm gonna keep this short now and end it because it's getting too long. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys all the way, yeah, have a good day, night, or afternoon, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.